everybody. So today I am going to show you a demo of a crown roast with French lamb chops. So, Frenching a lamb chop or a pork chop, however you want it, or whichever one you want it to do, is when you remove all the excess membrane and meat and skin from the rib bones to serve for presentation. So these are already started, as you can see, but I'm going to take just another inch or so of all this fat down here, and then make sure all the bones are clean. So with a boning knife, you go down an inch between each rib. And just trim that little bit of meat off. As y'all have learned before, you'd save all the scraps for stock, but this little bit of we're cutting off of here that's not very necessary. So now that we've got all the meat off of it, we need to remove the membrane and all the excess fat off of the bone. So the best way to do that is to make an incision down the bone, and hopefully it'll just peel right off, but sometimes it's a little stubborn. And then make an incision across the base of it, because you don't want to pull any excess off. See how it's just peeling off?
You. No, son, can y'all see?
Oh yeah, can y'all see? Yeah. Like I said, sometimes it's a little stubborn, so you just have to get in and play around with it and try to peel it all off. If you're having issues, like this last one's going to be a problem, you just take your knife and just scrape the excess off. I usually use the bottom of my knife down here so I have a little bit more control over it. And another handy tool is just a simple paper towel, because the fat and all this membrane is super slick. So with a paper towel, you can just scrape it right off, and then you get a clean Frenched lamb chop. So I'm going to do that with the rest of these bones. And as soon as I have them all clean, I will show you how to tie a crown roast. So just...
I think I got it now. Okay.
You're good? Okay. Alright, so once you have your rack or your bones clean, then we gotta clean up the actual meat of it. So there's a membrane right here on the front where the fat connects. Now you don't want to take all of that off because it'll take the bones off the meat. So what you want to do is separate it, and then trim it up. And then if you want to trim some of the thicker pieces of fat off the top up here, like this little spot right here, you can, just don't cut too deep into it, because then you'll expose these ribs down on the bottom. And then once we get the roast set up, it'll sit like this. So as that roasts, this fat on the inside will melt, or will render down and baste to the inside of the roast, keeping it nice and juicy. But on the back side, you see that sheen right there?
Yeah.
Just like pork ribs, there's a thin membrane that you want to peel off. And that'll help keep your ribs nice and tender, so you won't have to chew too much. Now, unlike pork, the membrane on the back I think I might have already got it all. The membrane on the back of lamb is not as thick. Once all that is trimmed up, you got it the way you want it to look.
Now, I do have a question there, Chef.
What's up?
Do you, on that, the other side, do you get the gray, on the other side?
The silver skin?
Silver skin, thank you. So it won't be tough to chew? The silver skin. Taking the whole nother level, huh? That's why you're here to learn. You're here to learn. So now that you know how to do your rack of lamb, officially, like the correct way, and how he got these bones all nice and clean. And like you said, it's not slick, it's not slimy, it's nice and clean. And what I'm asking him now is about that silverback, like how I did with the beef tenderloin. You remember I had to get that off so it won't be tough. So
let me cut a string real quick so I don't have to.
But you do want some of the fat on there, because that fat gonna keep it moist. So don't cut all your fat off. And the plus is gonna give it flavor and help it stay moist.
So that's my string to tie my roast. Now, talking about the silver skin. Yes, this silver skin right here should be trimmed off, just to make sure that the meat itself is not tough.
Okay.
Down to there.
Did y'all eat any lamb for Easter? No lamb chops, no lamb.
My Easter's May 5th, and I'm making margaritas.
It's May 5th and you making what?
Margarita, it's lamb soup.
Oh, okay.
It's Easter, Greek Easter soup. Traditional is supposed to use like intestines and stuff, but I've never done that. I've always used
For your soup? think I better get back on this side. Now you see why they charge.
Never stops with playing.
Huh?
I said it never stops with playing. I know that.
Yeah. That's why they charge. For the process. Now you see why he put that all over there? Because it has so much silverback, you just gonna be chewing on that. So you ever got any lamb chop that was tough? Now how, okay. Yeah, you would get it just, then I pull it. Yes, there you go. That's how I do it. Just pull it back. It's probably so slick. Now he in business. He in business now. So you can pull that off.
I'll season it with a little bit of oil. And this is Chef Mitchell's garlic oil.
Oh, I'm like, what? Yes.
I'm gonna rub some oil on the bones too, just to make sure they get nice and brown.
Yeah, so it helps it so it don't burn.
And then I've got a seasoning mix that is Italian seasoning, tarragon, garlic, onion, salt, pepper, and a bit of paprika. Just sprinkle that on. Making sure to get all of it seasoned as much as possible. Now once everything's seasoned, you're going to take your roast, you're going to roll it in on itself to where the two ends meet. You take
So this is when you're really trying to impress during the holiday. And you're like, oh, guess that culinary school did pay off, huh? So that's when you're trying to impress, yes.
just tie around the top. Nice and tight to make sure everything holds together. Just one simple knot. And you can trim the ends of the string off if you want. You don't have to, but I do just to keep it out of the way. There you are. Crown roast of lamb. Then just going to put it on your roasting pan.
When you're cooking it, do you have to baste?
No. Because lamb can be served at rare, medium rare, just like a steak, it will be done before it's dry. Now, if you want to baste it, you can, just for added flavor.
Because when I do the leg, I basically have
Now, leg's different because of how big it is, and to make sure that the center, especially if you're doing a bone in, gets done. That outside of it can get dry. So for large roasts like legs or whole racks, yes, baste it to ensure that it has enough moisture. But for such a small rack, you won't need it unless you want it for added flavor.
Okay, so that's it for our rack of lamb.